Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park. We're gearing up for a big day of stakes action. Naomi Tucker alongside Tim Tulloch. Tim, what a wonderful day. We're blessed with the weather, and I feel like the fields are there too.
They're great racing this afternoon. Shorten your stirrups, take a snug hole. It's a long day, 11 races, 5 stakes, and I can't wait to get it started, get through this, then we'll move on.
Same here, 11 races. It's a big card, and I can't wait to see some of those 3-year-olds battle it out in the Beyond the Wire as well as the private terms. Who knows where we might see them next? And talking about big races coming your way, we are counting down towards Preakness 147. Tickets are available right now, Saturday, May the 21st. I do believe it's about 9 weeks away from now at Pimlico. Ooh, can't wait what this year might have in store for us.
We'll see in a couple of the races today, the Beyond the Wire and the 3-year-old boys race, the private terms. They are basically preps for the Preakness. So preps for the Preakness and the Black Eyed Susan. So we'll see how these horses and these colts and boy fillies move on this afternoon.
Let's get everyone updated on the current track standings. The sun is shining. The track is fast. We couldn't have wished for a better day. Currently 64 Fahrenheit. Feels a little bit warmer than that, though.
A little bit warmer than that. The sun is in and out, but very, very comfortable and very, very comfortable for horses to race this afternoon.
Well, let's get this 11 race card on their way. We'll start with race number 1. 6 furlongs, the distance optional claim a starter allowance for Fitters and Mares 4-year-old and up. And Tim, you created an early pick 4 ticket for us today. How are we going to get paid?
I did. Always a very, very well played event, the early pick 5, and I go $48 ticket. I go 3 deep here in race 1. I use the 3, the 6, and the 8 in race 2. That's a wide open maiden 25, 1-3-7-9. Race 3, I use the 2 and the 3. In race 4, I single on the 4, and that is Fille d'Esprit.
Yeah,
and she's my single. And I go 4 deep in race 5. That's another maiden 40 event, 4, 5, 7, and 8. $48 on the early pick 5. Always well played, so you want to get involved in that.
I think Fille d'Esprit is going to be many a single on any of those horizontal wages. I did a middle pick 4, and I started by singling on her. So no pressure at all on Jerry Robb and the X-Men. We'll get to race 3 in just a second. But we'll start by talking about our joint top selection in here. The number 7, Who Knows What, for trainer Michael Trombetta. She's the strongest late closer in here and gets down from a good performance at allowance level.
Yeah, she ran a lifetime best on the main track in that last start here at Laurel Park in that first level allowance condition. She drops back here to basically, what is a 3 for 25. There should be some class relief here. She's got good efforts while sprinting both here and up at Penn National, and she looks to figure here this afternoon on Louis Garcia, who returns once again.
Yeah, you use the number 3 Italian dressing. I kind of overlooked her ever so slightly. She had a clunk or 2 back going long, showed some life once returning to the sprinting distance.
Yeah, she returns from a little bit of a break and her with a work sense. Her last race was okay at this level, but Hammy Smith is having a really, really good meet. He's winning at 22%, and Hammy usually hovers around 16, 17, and that's very workmanlike and the industry average, basically. But he's hot right now. I'm going to get Italian dressing with Victor Carrasco, a shot with 2 sharp works since that last start.
I think there are a few trainers right now that are firing on all 4 cylinders, and the Hamilton Smith stable is certainly one of those. Race number 2 is a maiden claiming 25 to 20,000 event. We don't have Keith Fustel with us today, gracing us with his presence, but he did send in an early pick 4 ticket. Let's see how he plays it. Look, same single right there. Race number 2, he goes 3 deep using the 1, the 3, and the 9. The 3 mostly safe, his top selection in there. Race number 3, 2, 3, and 7. He actually landed on the number 7 as his top choice visual artist there for Jamie Ness. And then race number 4, the Conniver Stakes. Not surprised that he also sees the opportunity to single on Fille d'Esprit there. And then he spreads in race number 5 in that maiden 41, 4, 5, 7, 6, and 7. $22 flat, $22.50 early pick 4, which is a very, very doable number to get yourself going here at Laurel Park today. And look, you might even get that, and then you can put that money back into a couple more bets in the stakes action that's coming later
Absolutely.
as well.
The Rainbow pick 6, the late pick 5, we've got it going on all day long.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your top selection in here. I have him in my exact, and it is the number 9 Flat Cat for trainer Del Capuano. Second start for the Capuano bond, came back after a lengthy break for his local return here, and did actually very, very well. Nearly looked like he had it, and just kind of perhaps, I wouldn't say short on the fitness side, because I think Del Capuano really gets them ready to fire, but he might just have needed that sort of return race.
I think so. I think he needed that race. That was a good effort off that very, very long layoff, just over a year layoff. Gene Novello returns this afternoon. He's winning at 20%, and he won 2 more races yesterday. He's red hot. This one gets another good outside draw this afternoon. I like Flat Cat. The outside draw certainly helps him.
I agree with you there. I think he's very, very live. I have him in my exact. I used Moses save for trainer Michael Trombetta. Look, we have not seen this runner in a very lengthy amount of time, but he was trying to get with the pace at maiden special weight at Pimlico. He got given a break after that, drops to the maiden 25 for the first time. Seems to have solid workouts leading up to this. I like that 5 panel move, the 101 and 3 on the 24th of November. I think he's interesting given the right price.
He's interesting giving the right price. My worry about Mosler Safe is he's going to get a fast racetrack for the first time in his career this afternoon, and I'm not so sure, looking at his pedigree, that's the best thing for him. He's going to have to run back to those type of races on a fast main track that he did on a sloppy and good track in his 2 previous starts.
I hope he will, though. Now, Michael Trombetta also has another runner in here on the rail. What does it take? Both of us kind of include him underneath. Also tries to find an easier spot in here, second after the break. I'm just not entirely sure he finds an easier group, to be honest.
I don't think he really does find an easier group, but he is coming off a lifetime best. It's second off the layoff with a sharp work sense that last race. He should move forward, but he draws the rail, going 7/8 of a mile. We see it time and time again. We're going to see it in a video spotlight here just in a few minutes. Not always the best place to be.
No, and we saw it yesterday as well. Either it's the visual angle or they just can't get away as strongly from that inside draw. Race number 3, first level allowance event, mile and 16 for 4-year-olds and up on the main track. We do have a video spotlight on gigging. That is the number 6 for trainer Norman Cash. He was very, very far off the leaders, but he was kind of gradually allowed to close the gap by JD Acosta. Took a bit of dirt, was kind of in between horses, had to switch out kind of twice by the looks of it. You can see him kind of making a couple of moves here, but once in that clean air, as you like to say, once he saw daylight, started rolling. Yeah,
clean air is everything. Muhafith, the gray on the outside, got the jump on him, but this was a tough race. This was a big 12-horse field, and it was a cavalry charge at the top of the stretch, and JD Acosta did the best he could to get this horse out in the clear. A little bit smaller field today, 8 horses. It could work for him, but this turns into a pretty tough heat. Also, I've got him up underneath, but I just thought that was a really, really good effort. First time here at Laurel Park in his last start.
Yeah, this is not an easy race. There's a couple of runners in here. One of them, Dust Devil, of course, trained by Hall of Famer Bill Mott. You have him on top exits here. After a couple of good enough feats, but perhaps couldn't really box it with them at the allowance level in New York, and now tries to find an easier spot shipping down here.
Yeah, and I think he does. I just think he does. When you look at those races in New York, by the figures, he can win this race. But when I look at the fact that he was not favored at any one of those races, that tells me with those type of figures and the performances he was putting in, they were tough heats. I think he gets a relief today. 3 work cents for Billy Mott, about 19% off this little bit of a layoff. So I think it's going to be good enough for Dust Devil to get the money.
Yeah, I take a shot with Flat Out Flying for trainer Cathal Lynch. Look, level-wise, this is tougher for him. He has to step it up, but I love his consistency, and he really, really turns it up late.
Yeah, he does, and what he's going to get today, which he hasn't had in his last 2 starts, is a fast main track. He's hooked moisture in his last 2 starts, not quite as good. You go back to Delaware, end of the summer, early fall. Last year, he was running good, solid races. He's 3 for 6 since last August with a big, solid fig. So it could be enough for Flat Out Flying.
Look, he's got to take on a couple of New York invaders, but I think he could be up to it for a very sharp trainer in Cathal Lynch. Race number 4 is the first of 5 stakes events coming your way. The Conniver Stakes for fillies and mares, 4-year-old and up, Maryland bred or Maryland sired, 7 furlongs at distance, and the start of that middle pick 4. And no surprise there where I single. Everything keys around Fille d'Esprit for me here in race number 4. What a tough race she ran in that grade 3 Barbara Fritchie. I think she's going to get a better trip here. I think she can run over the top of them. Look, it's going to be tough with Kiss the Girl, but I think Fille d'Esprit is the one here. Race 5, I spread 4, 5, and 7 in that maiden claiming 40 level. Race 6, I spread again as well, using the 6, the 9, the 11, and the 12. That actually you could even go deeper in that race. That's a very wide open claiming race. And then the next stakes race, the Not for Love, race number 7. I go 4 deep there as well, the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 7. But I landed on the number 5. Youngest of 5 is hopefully a bit of a price pay, but I do think Big Engine coming in from New York is tough there as well. $24 a flat ticket. That is hoping for a price in the ladder section of the legs and singling on Fille d'Esprit in race number 4 here. So let's start by talking about the Conniver Stakes. We might as well start with showing the replay of Fille d'Esprit in the grade 3 Barbara Fritchie, where unfortunately for her there was a little bit of a traffic momentum problem going on there. You can see there she just had a bit more speed than the runners in front of her.
Yes, she did. She broke very, very well. Now this is the dreaded 1 hole going 7/8 of a mile. I've been in that hole in this particular race and got beat just a neck, and same sort of thing. You come off down the chute, you got a little bit of a hill, Philly wants to go on, then the brakes, the 7 comes over, she has to tap the brakes. She keeps on coming, she keeps on trying that even through the stretch. She finds a little bit of trouble through the stretch. She is trying very, very hard here. She goes, drops down toward the inside, but then Xavier has to bring her back toward the outside, and she keeps on coming. She gives the top 2 everything that they can have. There's no glass ceiling or Jakarta in this afternoon's race. I think she probably lays over this field, moves out 2 spaces to the 3 hole. That's going to help her. I like her a lot this afternoon, as we all do, because we've put more weight on her between you, Keith, and myself. We put a lot of pressure on her.
I'm not too sure that that's going to be in her favor, no, but I hope that Fille d'Esprit can run up to her. I think the key also was, aside from the traffic trouble, that we saw that 7 furlong wasn't a step too far for her. We always thought she was a little bit more of a sprinter, lean filly. She showed us that she still has something left in the tank in that final furlong. But let's talk about Kiss the Girl, who's defending her title in the Conniver Stakes from last year. Comes in here off the back of 2 stakes victories, the Geisha and the Nelly Morse, but that was going longer. Now returns to 7 furlong. Yeah. I'm afraid that Fille d'Esprit is going to have the jump on her in here, and Kiss the Girl is really going to have to set sail for home.
Yeah, look, Kiss the Girl's made every bit of her recent opportunities, winning those 2 races going along, but she's turning back to 7/8 of a mile. Now she is 2 for 2 going 7/8 of a mile. This is a different race this year. I think it's a bit tougher than it was last year. I'm not sure that 7/8, even though she's 2 for 2, is her cup of tea. By the numbers, she's going to have to run a little bit better. There's horses that have run better figures going 7/8 a mile. But look, she's honest and she's in good form right now.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And how about Artful Splatter? She was quite tenacious in the Nelly Morse, running second behind Kiss the Girl. I must admit, I struggled to see her turn the tables on that foe.
Yeah, I struggle to see her turn the tables too. I agree. I mean, she's been hanging around in her 3 most recent races, 3 consecutive second place finishes over fast tracks. Which I didn't think she was. I thought she was always better on a sloppy track, and she probably still is. But she's outperformed herself a little bit in the last three races. But the 7/8 of a mile might be a little tough for her this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree with you that she showed us that she was just as effective now in a later age on the fast track as we always thought she was on the off-going. So I'm glad to see that she's kind of developed herself in that manner. Race number 5, maiden claiming 40 to 32,000, 6 furlongs of distance here for straight 3-year-olds. This is a fun race to try and figure out. You use the number 8 Bliss. I had him on and off my picks. I feel like I was, sitting quite comfortably on the fence in this race. Comes in here first time start as a gelding for trainer Dale Capuano. two efforts that wouldn't necessarily be good enough to win it in here. So is that sort of ultimate equipment change going to do the trick?
I think so. Coming in, as you mentioned, as a first-time gelding, taking a little bit of a drop here this afternoon out of that maiden special weight where he ran behind Sunday Mischief and a couple others. But look at the works. Sharp work, February 27th, a minute and a fifth. Best work of the morning, 5/8 of a mile. Comes back with another bullet on March 15th for Dale Capuano, about 21% off this type of layoff. So 4 good works, a couple sharp ones. I'm going to take Bliss this 6-1 on the morning line.
Good price paid there. I landed on When I Get to Heaven for trainer Michael Trombetta. Has shown just an abundance of speed in his last 2 outings. Had to give in last time and the time before, but he has been steadily progressing. So I'm hoping that he can take that next step here as well.
Well, he'll be looking for the lead. There's no doubt about that. And there's really not a lot of speed down towards his inside. I can't imagine a stable mate is going to put a whole lot of pressure, but it is J.D. Acosta. If it breaks well, may be going. But yes, we'll be looking for the lead. A couple good races in his last 2 starts, a couple good work sets.
How about the other runner for trainer Dale Capuano in here? Must Be Love, the number 7, John Ovello, takes off that 5 pounds. When looking at the 2 runners in here, I was like, do I take the angle with the first-time gelding, or do I go with the runner that has just shown a little bit more form-wise than the number 8? So I landed on Must Be Love. I can see where your choice went.
Yeah, well, look, they come in with the same works. They worked different works on this 27th and on not on March 6th, but they're coming out of the same work on March 6th. I'm sure they worked together, so they look pretty comparable. But yeah, you can't throw this one out. The figures work, and if you can run back to that debut race, that number behind the Addison Board can get it done this afternoon.
Yeah, we got 11 races in total, so we'll take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Your tickets for Preakness 147. In the interim, come and join us today at Laurel Park. 5 stakes races coming up.
5 stakes races. We've got a handicapping tournament going on up there we'll talk about in a minute. I walked through the plant before the show, already buzzing up there, so come on down and see us.
Couldn't agree with you more. I have to walk through the grandstand myself. It's always a good day on the stakes days here
You'll
on
attract
Saturday.
more attention than I did. That's okay. Let's go. Race 6.
Race number 6. Wide open affair, I feel, here in this, claiming 12.5, $10,000, 7 furlongs at distance. Do you have a big 6 ticket as well? Kai Francois, as we've come accustomed to, created a ticket for us. I'll run you through it quickly. 5, 6, and 9 for her in here. Race number 7, she goes 3 deep again in the Not for Love, using the number 3, the 5, and the 7 in that spot. And then she singles in the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial on Galerio. Look, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think he's a justifiable favorite, and I hope he won't be bouncing. John Salzman Jr. told me he is jumping out of his skin, so we're going to take his word for it. Race number 9, 6, 7, and 8 for her there in the Beyond the Wire. And how about that in the private term stakes? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in that race. And look, that is one of the highlight races today. What a competitive field. And in race number 11, hopefully we have gotten our price in the private terms. We have the 4 and the 7, $64.80 ticket commencing in race number 6. Let's start with your top selection in here, Tim, which I tend to agree with. I also have the 6 on top in this claiming event for David Mohan. Swing West. Feel like if he can hold even just a smidgen of his level, what he's shown in this last handful, he would be able to kind of just, show his consistency, get that stalking trip, and see it out.
Look, he's been in really, really good form since last December. He's had 3 wins in his last 5. But what put me over the top is look who he ran second to last time, Eastern Bay. Eastern Bay is a nice horse coming. He was coming off of a layoff. Already a stakes winner, Eastern Bay is on the turf.
Was looking for his form and return.
And the dirt. So he ran behind a serious horse that day. No embarrassment in defeat to Eastern Bay. The rest of his races have been very, very good. The figures stand out in this group. I think we're on the right horse.
I hope we are, because aside from that, we're quite spready. We'll talk about the horse on his inside. May the horse be with you for trainer Jamie Ness. Has shown that he's starting to kind of come back into form, but hasn't been back to that stakes winning showcase that we saw of him as a 3-year-old.
And he hasn't, but he's run into Swing West his last 2 races. He gets to go 7/8 of a mile today, and that could turn the tables on Swing West. This horse has run very, very well going 7/8 of a mile, 1 second from 2 starts, but a good figure there, 77 by her speed figure when he got beat a neck in the spectacular bid last winter. So, you know, Jamie, these horses will get a little bit better as they go, and I expect improvement once again this afternoon with the May the horse be with you.
I'm a little bit fearful of him now. I also threw in Even Thunder on the outside for trainer Mikey Gorham. Nobody's hotter right now than the Gorham stable, so I wanted to include Even Thunder with Jana Vidas on board, who has been sort of kind of slowly, sneakily improving in his figures. It might be a big price, but let's talk about some more of the stakes races. Race number 7, the Not for Love Stakes for 4-year-olds and up, Maryland bred and Maryland sired, 6 furlongs distance. We have a replay that features 3 runners in today's event. Where She Told Me to Go, Youngest of 5, and Air Token. That's Air Token that we saw first. Then we saw there the number 7, who I do believe was Where She Told Me to Go, who was further back, as Youngest of 5 was in front there doing all the hard work, as we do see Where She Told Me to Go kind of cruising up on the outside as well there.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to lose Galerio, but how about good Galerio ran in this race? We'll talk about that in a minute. This was going 7/8, but that's a Youngest of 5 down the fence, and he done all the work. Here comes Where She Told Me to Go on the outside. Air Token in between them. They're going to bring it down to the wire. These 3 will meet again today. All 3 ran a very, very game race, but we turn back to 3/4 of a mile today, and that may help Youngest of 5 out. He was game the other day. He's in very, very good form. He's coming out of a race where he ran second behind Wonder Where Craig Is. Do you know where Craig is?
I do believe he's in Dubai.
I believe he's in Dubai too. So they thought enough of that horse to go ahead and take him to Dubai. That was a good second place finish behind that runner. He's been running consistently well since last August. I'm going to take my shot.
I'm with you on Youngest of 5, and yeah, Wonder Where Craig is trying a tilt at the Group 1 Dubai Golden Shaheen is a grade 3 winner in the Bold Ruler for trainer Brittany Russell. Youngest of 5 was up against a tough runner, and in that race that we just watched there, the Howard and Sandra Bender Memorial, there was nothing between these 3 runners. And as you said, that was 7 furlong. I think Youngest of 5 might have the edge on here. It seems like we're on the same horse, because I think Callie likes Youngest of 5 a little bit at a price as well, because this seems like a wide open affair that you want to go with some value. I used Air Token underneath. You did too. But let's talk about the number 3, Where She Told Me to Go, because another runner that I had him on and off, he just didn't really show up the way I hoped he would last time out in the Dave's trend. I do wonder if he's better going 7 furlongs. So I left him off basically at my own peril here, though.
Well, he's a 13-time winner. He's a 7-time winner going 3/4 of a mile. Brittany Russell is very good at what she does, if you hadn't noticed. This horse ran subpar in December. What does she do? Gives this horse a little breather. Let's drop back, let's punt, let's move on to another day. That's something she does very, very well. Comes back with some good works. Now, she worked him sharp initially, and then you watch his last 2 works. She's backed him up. She slowed him down, maybe trying to get a little sharpness in him. He's going to be tough, and he runs some big figures, man. Look at his best 3/4 mile figure, 102. That's racehorse, serious racehorse time. He will be very, very tough. I'm going against him, but if he wins it, I certainly won't be surprised.
No, I mean, this field is very, very tough in the Not for Love. Big Engine for Rudy Rodriguez comes in from New York. We have a couple of New York invaders, but that was a tough effort over 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. Ran 96 buyer. Just an honest race, really kind of gobbling up the field there.
Yeah, that was 2nd time with Rudy Rodriguez. Today will be the 3rd time with him. He ran a lifetime best, 96, in his most recent start. Now, that was against softer, 3 other than, probably still a little softer than this stake. I like him. I use him at the bottom of my ticket. When I look back at his races, now this was pre-Rudy Rodriguez, so you've got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. You see him in races, in New York bred stake races, where he's run well, but he hasn't been able to get to the winner's circle, so he's just been a couple low. He's going to have to come back with that same race that he ran on February 19th, or work since that date also.
Yeah, I do feel like we're on an upward trajectory with Big Engine. So I don't mind the inside draw. I think he's that kind of sort of mid-pack horse
Yeah,
that will just kind of slot in and save some ground. But the Not for Love is a great racer. I said Air Token already. He always runs an honest race. You can never really leave him off. Look, I had to include Jackson Traveler. You know, the champion 2-year-old Maryland bred at the time has not really been showing us as much as what we saw in his 2-year-old year and his 3-year-old year. Can he recapture some of that form?
He's going to have to. I mean, it's that simple. He's going to have to. None of his last 3 races, of his last 4 races are going. Well, one was on the turf. Let's just say the last 3 are going to be good enough to win this afternoon. So he's going to have to move forward this afternoon. He hasn't won since Pimlico last August. That was a short field, 3-horse field. So, look, he's going to have to. And I love him. I didn't want to leave him off, but I just had to.
Oh, this was a tough
if I'm
race.
wrong, I'm wrong.
We've got some good fields coming up. Race number 8, the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial, 1 turn, 1 mile, and all eyes are going to be on the number 2, Galerio. Let's look back at his John B. Campbell victory, where he was forced about 3 wide or even more into that first turn. There was a fair bit of speed on his inside. He has a lower draw here today than he had that day. Ends up slipping in behind, but on the final bend was able to rein up there, dug it in deep, and was just an honest effort. Massive figure, 102. But look, he worked hard for it. He earned it.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, JD gives him a really, really good trip through the first turn here. He doesn't really lose that much of ground. He stays in the clear. But what he does well and does the best is the top of the stretch to the wire. I guess we're going to watch I feel
like we're watching the whole race.
Yeah. This whole race, but I don't know why not. Let's go. And you're going to see Gentleman Joe in here also, who is reopposing this afternoon. He's toward his in side. You see Gentleman Joe. He's the 3 to the outside of Working on a Dream. Now, Working on a Dream's in this race this afternoon, too. Working on the Dream doesn't get that easy lead this particular afternoon. He's going to back up gamely. He'll be looking for the lead. But you still have Gentleman Joe, who seems to be getting better. And here comes Galerio, and then Forewarned. You're going to see Forewarned start to come here in a little bit. They get into a ding-dong battle. This turns into a great horse race.
What a terrific race. Look, talking about Working on a Dream, we might as well just touch upon him as well. His last win came over this exact configuration. Couldn't capitulate on the 2 turns, but you said it before. We all coin it. Sometimes that 1 turn mile might turn up to be a little bit of a longer sprint. Do you think that works into Working on a Dream's favor?
It might. It's a long, it's a long stretch, and I'm never a big fan. Horses that go to lead, they have to be very, very good going the 1 turn mile if there's any kind of horse that can close, because it's such a long stretch. So we'll see how it works. But here we go. Forewarned is going to try to catch Galerio,
and he holds him off.
Holds him off. A big race. 102 Beyer speed figure. Galerio ran that afternoon. Lifetime best. You talked about John Salzman maybe worrying about you were worried about the bounce, and John Salzman said no, he's kicking the barn down.
Yeah, he is in tip-top shape. Race number 9, the Beyond the Wire for 3-year-old ladies. 1 turn, 1 mile here. All eyes are gonna be on Luna Bell. Can she stretch out to the mile distance? We look back at her White Country Stakes victory, where every time you kind of wonder, is she coming? Is she gonna get there in time? She leaves herself with a lot of lengths to make up down the lane, but hold on, she turns the propellers on and she runs them down. Now, my only knock really looking at this field is how tough was this field truly? Who did she really beat? The 7th place getter Beneath the Stars did come back and win one other than. That was only a 69 Beyer. Of course, the rest of them haven't really reopposed yet. Is she just so much the best, or were these kind of not the toughest of stakes runners?
Well, I guess I kind of can agree with it, but honestly, what's she opposing today is the question. We're looking at a couple fillies who just broke their maiden. They broke them impressively, but they're first time against winners to a filly who's won 3 in a row, in fact, 3 stake races in a row. Going back to that video, Daniel Laurel, a great ride that particular day, had to steady at the half-mile pole earlier, and then kind of had to sit and not steady, but you had to wait for room. He wasn't going to kick her out 6 wide around the turn. Got to the top of the stretch, kicked her out to clean air. Never turned the stick, never even tapped her on the shoulder. She just took over and went away. Is the mile a problem? I don't think so.
I don't
think
think
she
so
sits a nice
either.
trip from out there.
I think she just hits her best race running late, so I think the mile's going to be just fine. Let's talk about Diamond Collector, though. I have her in my exact. I spoke with Carlos Martin, asking him about perhaps a game plan, because last time Kendrick Carmouche really hustled her to get to the lead. Now, Carlos told me, look, it was a smaller field. We just wanted to get the advantage there. She doesn't necessarily needs to be on the lead. Now, my time from US pace figures suggest that she's much the fastest early, though. So I think that could set up well for her. If she does get to the front, she might be able to take a small breather, slow them down. That's not in Lunabel's favor.
No, I don't know if that's going to happen, though. But let's talk about Diamond Collector. She's going to be getting a fast track for the first time in her career. She broke her maiden in her last start. Now, this is the race that this filly's been looking for. She was a $320,000 purchase. This is test time for her. She's had a sharp work since that last start. She's stretching out to a mile, getting a fast track. Now, she should be able to handle the fast track, but she's cut out to run as well as she did on those off tracks. So we'll see how that she handles that this afternoon with Victor Carrasco.
It will be a class test for Diamond Collector. Race number 10, the private terms, mile and 16 the distance for straight 3-year-olds. This is an incredible race. Tough to separate a lot of them. We ended up using the same horses, though, Tim. Slightly surprised her. Both of us used Eagle in Love for trainer Rob Atras on top. It was a foggy day that day. It was a track with moisture in it. It seemed quite a tiring track, to be quite honest. Eagle in Love got a bit of a bump, sat 3 wide on top of the speed. There was a heavy favorite there for Top Pletcher. Long term, he did kind of got wrapped up late, but then long term came back to run second and made it special with an 86 buyer next time out. So Eagle in Love, look, we don't really know yet how good he is, but I'm taking a shot here.
This is typically not my cup of tea. I don't like horses that just broke their maiden typically going in a stake. This might be a different case. Big 76 buyer speed figure. You talk about the horse that he beat that day. He won at first asking going a miles, had 3 works since. The other horses in this race are fine, but there's no one that really jumps off the page to me. So, like you, I'm going to give Eagle and Love to carry on this good form.
Let's have a look at one of the videos that we do have. Locomotive as well as Majestic Frontier in the Miracle Wood. It's a complete kind of rematch of the Miracle Wood, because Maximum Impact and Conclusive also come back in here. And you see Majestic Frontier is trying to run them down from just sort of more mid-pack. But Locomotive, what an honest race. On the lead from the get-go. He puts it all on the line. He runs hard. As honest as the day's long.
Yeah, he runs hard, and he runs a really, really good race here. And you're going to see Majestic Frontier. This long stretch catches up with him. It starts to catch up with him here, and then he swaps off to his left lead. Then he's looking for the rail. Hold me up, hold me up, hold me up. But 2 turns today, where he's a 2-time winner. The shorter stretch, I think, helps him. The downside for me for Locomotive is the last time he ran a lifetime best figure, he came back. It took him 2 races to come back to that last race that he ran first time going long. That was a big race. He's going to have to come back. Big work since that last race, 59 flat right here at Laurel Park. But let's talk about Joe. Let's talk about Joe.
Joe is looking for a 4th win in a row. He has been talked up quite a lot as maybe possibly being aimed for the Tessio, of course, a winner you're in for the Preakness, a horse that the Trombetta Barn and Connections, the Elkstone Group, are incredibly excited about. Victor Carrasco loves this horse, was going up to Delaware to ride work on him. We are all going against him here, whereas he's done nothing wrong.
He's done nothing wrong, and I'm not going to take anything away from him. I would temper the enthusiasm just a tad, because for me, this is a must-win. For me, it is a must-win. This field isn't that tough. If you get a good trip and you don't win, you might have to reevaluate where you're going. 3 wins in a row. I don't know how much he beat in that first level allowance. Okay, Shady Money's okay, Mr. Mox, they're okay. But 3 works since, and I would say you've got to get a good price here. I mean, if he's at 3 to 5 or something silly like that,
him at 3 to 5.
I'm not going to take him at 3 to 5. But I want him to win. I'm wishing him the best. We like having these local horses. But for me, it's a must-win for Joe this afternoon.
Yeah,
Else we have
let's
to
see how
reevaluate.
good Joe truly is in the private terms. Final race on the card. Optional claim has started. Allowance 5.5 furlong sprinting distance. We'll quickly talk through this race. Tim, you and I see this the exact same. Let's hope we get the cold super home here. The number 4 Silent Service for Michael Trombetta. First start as a gelding has had a lengthy time to kind of gather himself again, but was running decent races as a 3-year-old.
Decent races against tougher open allowance races. Now he comes in with this 2 for 25 this afternoon. Should be enough even off the layoff as a first-time gelding.
I believe so as well. We also included Loaded Sniper for trainer Charles Frock. But let's move on to lightning round to tell you what's going on today. As usual on these big stakes days, we have a wagering special for you. Full card money back special. That is up to $10 you can return if your win bet runs second on or third on every single race today. Now, if that doesn't mean you just want to put a $5 on a long shot, I don't know what does.
Well, no, I don't know what it's going to do, but look, this is a good deal. You get some money back if your short price horse doesn't win. That's fine. But yeah, it gives a little giving back to the people. That's what we like to do here.
Absolutely. Well, the Stronach 5, we've coined it as being the best wager, the best pick 5 nationwide. And this popular wager returned money once more. 10 astute handicappers, 10 lucky winners received $12,432 each, courtesy of a couple of big prize runners.
Rudy Sanchez Solomon, a leg D right here at Laurel Park, $55.60 winner. I went too deep in Golden Gate Fields. I did not have that horse, $17.80. Congratulations to those of you who won it. Worth the time, $12,432.
Absolutely. Now, you already mentioned it earlier. We do have a tournament going on, the Maryland Jockey Club Champions Handicapping Tournament. 300 entries. I think a couple of days ago we were nearing the 200 mark. People can go to the sports bar on the second floor. It's $300 to enter, but you get the chance to win seats for the NHE, the BCBC, or the big one. So really, really lucrative handicapping tournament if you manage to better the others.
They were lining up there at the sports bar, getting ready for today's tournament. And you know, Naomi, we better give away some winners today, so we might have to leave via the back door.
I hope that we can give them a couple of good pointers, but they might be running circles around us if they're these top astute handicappers that most likely we're trying to get into those big tournaments that are coming up later in the year. Final point here, Art of Racing contest. Voting is still open. Do go to the website there, I think laurelpark.com as well as pimlico.com, or just Google the Art of Racing. That's what I did. Really good artworks there. I think we saw Secretariat represented there winning the Preakness. So much to choose from. It was quite the pleasure going through the entry, so I recommend everyone having a look.
And everything Preakness as we start to warm up for the big day, third Saturday in May. And of course, Friday, Black-Eyed Susan Day, which is always a very big day and a lot of fun. So we're getting closer and closer. It will be very quickly upon us.
Yeah, Preakness 147. We can't wait, and we hope you'll join us again at High Ho Pimlico. In the interim, 5 stakes races coming your way. First post at 12:40. And Dave Rodman will give you the update on some of the scratches and changes for today. Best of luck.